Good morning, team. Before we jump into this week's Coffee with Amy and Kevin episode, we did want to take a moment to share our love for all of our @Properties agents and staff members who were impacted by the tragic events that occurred last Monday in Highland Park. We thank all of you for reaching out, and let's continue to wrap them in the love that they need right now.
That's right. Thank you to all of you who have reached out, a lot of you from all over the country. Your support, I know, is greatly appreciated by not only our @Properties agents and staff and our colleagues at other brokerages, but also that entire community. And some of you have asked for us to share the link where you might be able to donate. So if you feel compelled, please do so and continue to share the love with that entire community.
Yes, thank you. Hey, good morning, team. Thank you so much for joining us. It's Tuesday, July 12th. I'm Amy Corr, and I'm joined by Kevin Van Eck, and we're live out of the Goose Island office. We've got a really great topic to cover this morning, so we are excited to get into it. So we've got our coffee ready to go. Grab your mug of whatever you've got filled up this morning, and let's jump into the next episode of Coffee with Amy and Kevin.
Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to talk about being able to answer the question, how's the market, but even in more depth. More so our confidence, and also what are the resources we can use to prepare to answer that question? Meaning, what are the sources of information where we're going to be able to read, research, and then be able to feel confident that we're giving the right answers out. Sometimes this is a dilemma for us where we're actually afraid sometimes to answer the question or to talk about real estate because we'll get asked a question that we can't answer. So how are we going to get confident, and where are we going to get the information to be confident? That's the topic today.
That's right. And it really stemmed from Kevin and I having a conversation that, as we're talking about 60 days of summer, as we're talking about this being such a great time of year to be out in front of people, interacting with our sphere of influence, meeting new people that could be potential clients, we are going to get those questions. What's going on in the market? How's the market? And we've gotten a lot of agents who say, things have been changing at such a fast pace. They're almost nervous or worried to say the wrong thing. So we want to talk to you today about what Kevin said, which is confidence. And being confident is not that you have to be perfect in your explanation of what you are sharing or talking to people about as it relates to real estate. So I know we want to have the perfect answer when it comes to how's the market, where is the market going to go, what's going to happen next, are prices going up or down? We don't have a crystal ball. I wish we did. None of us do, right? So I want us to remove the idea of feeling like we have to be perfect in our response and recognize it isn't perfection, but it's being an expert. You are an expert in your field. You are an expert in your neighborhood. Let's face it, you are in the market every single day. You are working with buyers, you're working with sellers, you're taking a look at what's happening in your neighborhoods, and you have a great pulse of what's going on in the market. So all you need to do is remember that you are the expert and that you do have the most real-time information. So when you're talking with people, you always want to have a positive or a good outlook or spin when you're talking with them, but you also want to be honest. Tell them what's happening. Tell them what you're seeing in the market. And remember, you are the expert. You know what's happening. So don't worry about the perfection side. Just like a doctor, they don't always know how to solve every problem with a patient, but we go to these doctors because they're an expert, because they know way more than we do, because they focus on their craft and they see it day in and day out. We're the same in real estate. So keep that in mind when you're interacting this summer and be ready to engage, because that's how more business develops.
I love that analogy with the doctor because there is no perfection, right? But they are experts and we trust them. So similar here. So how can you grow as an expert? Where can you get information to be able to share? So some of these we've shared in the past, some of these we haven't. So let's do a quick rundown. Number one, take a look at your MLS. Do they provide something like InfoSparks or another tool where it's easy for you to pull data and trends? And I know some MLSs actually put out weekly and monthly reports and snapshots. So check with your local MLS and make sure that you have access and you know where the resources are to be able to track what's happening locally. And then on a larger scale, and we've talked about this before, number two, KCM, or Keeping Current Matters. We talk about it often because it's such a great resource. Mm-hmm. They have blogs, they have slides, they have social media posts that you can use to be able to market yourself as well. and share what's happening in the market, but it's so great because it's happening, it shows it at a national level. They're very simple, easy to understand. So whether you're in a one-on-one environment with a potential buyer or seller, or you're talking with a group of people, these stats, slides, blogs are all things that are going to help you position yourself as an expert and feel more confident. And number 3, a resource that we work with, a resource we talk to often, but we don't often think of as a resource for market information. It's your lender. It's free. You can ask your lender. They need to track what's happening in the market. They track what's happening with bonds. They track what's happening with interest rates. They track what's happening in the market. Certainly, they have the ability to share it with you. They have access and resources that we may not as agents. And so they would be a good resource to use. And also another expert that you can collaborate with when you are talking with, again, buyers and sellers. And then there are some favorites that we have too. So some favorites of mine, and these might be subscription models. Some of them are, some of them aren't, some of them are free. But number 1, Calculated Risk blog. I love it because they get really in depth. Now, pay attention because you're going to have to sort of simplify it. If you post what Calculated Risk blog puts out or you try to repeat it word for word, guaranteed you're going to get tripped up. But they have some great graphs. It's great insight, and it comes out frequently. Number 2, Housing Wire. Housing Wire and RealTrends. It's another great resource for data and information and to understand what's happening in the market and to pull out sound bites. Of course, Inman. Inman has sound bites articles. Make sure you move past the headline because the headline is often dramatic. Remember, they're looking for readers and nothing. We love Inman, but just make sure you move past the headline and actually read the article and look at the graphs. And then there are other resources out there too. You can Google and find other market information. But the key is, in order to be confident, make sure that you're prepared, make sure that you're paying attention and you actually have the data. Amy, as you said, don't make it up. Make sure you're not, I guess, over-rosying the data. Make sure you can actually speak to exactly what's happening. And it builds credibility when you use actual numbers and data as you're talking with the market.
Yeah, and it ultimately will build your confidence. The
Right.
more that, so if you're not doing it now, one of the things I would really encourage you to do is set some time in your calendar where you do take the time to do the research. I know both Kevin and I do that. Sometimes your day gets away from you, but make sure that you're, deciding this is where I'm going to get my information so that when I am in front of my current clients or potential clients, I'm making sure that I've got real timely information because the last thing you also want is a client to take you by surprise, which I know has happened to me in the past. I don't know if it's ever happened to you. So, make sure that part of your craft and you putting in the work is doing the research and making sure that you find time for that on a weekly basis. It's going to build your confidence and it's going to make those conversations so much easier.
Very true. And a good time to do that, maybe instead of scrolling Instagram at night or playing Wordscapes or Word Search or whatever you play, maybe that's a good time to just cruise some articles and pull out some great information.
Yes, or you can just do it on top of the Wordle, which is, I will never give my Wordle up.
What's your streak at?
I'll have to check, but I got today's word, which wasn't very easy, but I won't tell you in case you haven't done it yet.
Awesome.
So Tom Downing, he and I do our text every day to see who got it.
That's fun, and you got it done early too.
Yeah, very.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, let us know. If you have great sources of information, please put it in the comments below the video. Subscribe, follow, like, and if there's someone out there that needs to see this video, please share it with them.
Yeah, thank you so much. Make it a great Tuesday. Have a great week, and until we see you next time, remember, you got this.